So, if you had seen the video earlier today on the channel, you would have known that I actually am not in Vancouver. I'm out and about. The NHL has a break, and so do I. So I'm here in San Francisco in a hotel room with a pillow behind the microphone, trying to eliminate the echo because, of course, this beautiful hotel room does not have all the action figures on the walls like my regular room does, thus eliminating the sound bouncing off of the walls. Anyways, let's ignore the echo for now and talk about some of the extra news we had seen heading into the Four Nations Faceoff. Now, I unfortunately am not going to be paying too much attention to the games. I don't think I'll be able to do post-game recaps on that either because, one, I'm not really interested, and two, I'm out and about, as I said. So, heading into today's matchup, which will feature Team Canada versus Team Sweden, it is going to be a hoedown of events with some of the top NHL talent to be. However, this video doesn't really focus on that game. It's not going to focus on USA-Finland tomorrow. It's not even going to focus on USA-Canada or Finland-Sweden on Saturday. Today's video is going to focus on Sweden-USA on February 17th, one day before I actually start to come back to Vancouver, so maybe there will be enough time to let that topic breathe a little bit. But USA-Sweden has been a matchup for a lot of Canucks fans to pay attention to, heading back into last year, really. Because it's been very apparent that some of the top stars and top centers on this USA versus Sweden matchup are Elias Pettersson and JT Miller. At the time this entire story was started up, they were both Vancouver Canucks, and a lot of Canucks fans were saying, hey, Miller and Petey are beefing, why not wait till the Four Nations face off when they inevitably face off against each other? Because of course, they're going to make their teams. Miller was a 100-point guy last year, Pettersson an 89-point guy last year, a 100-point guy the year before. They're gonna make the teams, so why not have this idea of them battling it out one-on-one in a center stage matchup? Who's the better guy at defense? Who's better at winning face-offs? Who's better at out-dangling the other? And who can get the most punches in? Who really knows? But even though this was kind of a tongue-in-cheek thought that a lot of Canucks fans had, admittedly it was tongue-in-cheek, there was always this idea saying, okay, they're teammates on Vancouver, hopefully they figure it out. We know there has been a rift. It was reported a lot during this season, and then there were always the ideas from beforehand saying, yeah, Miller and Pettersson were never really best buds, they wouldn't really play PlayStation together, etc. So a lot of Canucks fans kind of poked fun at that idea by hinting at USA-Sweden as a prime marquee matchup. But now that these guys are separated, now that Miller is a Ranger, this is real. And quite frankly, Miller is on Team USA with, 3 of his Ranger teammates? Trocheck, Kreider, and Adam Fox are all joining that same squad, so it's a party of Rangers over there in Team USA. Team Sweden, however, has Elias Pettersson. Elias Pettersson is not on the team, nor is Nils Höglander, nor is Nils Åman, or Marcus Pettersson, so PD40 is the only guy in Vancouver on Team Sweden. Anyways, let's go over to the interviews that were done by both of these guys heading into the tournament, because Miller, I want to say for the first time ever since getting traded, ended up speaking about Elias Pettersson and the situation there. Now, quite frankly, he didn't say much, but the fact that he was asked about it and the fact that he was answering about it is interesting, which is why we are going to leave a link in the description to this article on dailyfaceoff.com. This show is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Go out there and check the first link in the description below to get some free months on your VPN, save some money, and help this channel out in the process. But the second link in the description will be this piece by Matt Larkin, how the Four Nations Faceoff can be a healing experience for JT Miller and Elias Pettersson. Oh boy. Now the article is great because it goes over the entire story. Hey, Miller was a Vancouver guy, he was a top Vancouver guy, then he was traded. A month ago, he was in hockey purgatory, awaiting a long-rumored trade from the Canucks, questioned daily about his turbulent relationship with Elias Pettersson. Miller's reality now, though? politely asking Vinny Trocheck and his wife Hillary if he can help with any chores, cooking them a steak dinner to thank them for taking him into their home, living with his best friend, who is now his New York Rangers teammate, reuniting with former teammates like Kreider and Zibanejad, with whom Miller first developed as a Ranger when he was a first-round pick with the franchise out of 2011. Now, all purple pros aside, that is a really nice thought there. Miller does speak out about this and the situation in the Four Nations pre-interview. I pinch myself a little trying to remember the things I used to do. People you see walking around, the elevator guy, the broom guy, the lounge, it's like, oh man, I can't believe I'm here. I just feel super lucky that things worked out the way they did. Now, this is where Miller talks about the Trochecks. It's a really nice comment. Oh yeah, I'm going to family. They've taken good care of me, etc., etc. And then there are comments from Chris Kreider about the return of JT, and Trocheck says that JT's an emotional guy. But take a look at this. Matt Larkin then writes about the rift. The tournament allows Miller a mental break from the whirlwind January he had. His family will make the trip to Montreal from Vancouver too to reunite with him. Not that the Four Nations allows for total decompression, of course. Miller will play for one of the top contending teams. What? No way. One of the top contending teams, buddy? There are 4 gosh darn teams in the tournament. Every team is okay, I think he's talking about the Rangers. His Americans will inevitably clash with Pettersson's Swedes. The Rangers and Canucks haven't played each other yet since the trade, so the matchup on February 17th will represent Miller and Pettersson's first meeting. Miller knew better than to take the bait and acknowledged relishing that battle, however. It's definitely something that you guys build up, Miller said with a laugh. I'm sure it's more exciting for you guys, but it's just another game for us. Can the same be said for Pettersson? He arrived at Media Day Tuesday to hold court as well, his tongue planted firmly in cheek when asked if the Four Nations tourney would give him a break from the drama. Well, you're asking me about it now, so, he said, doing everything but wink. Miller seemed euphoric as the one who actually left the situation. Pettersson was the more stoic of the two, determined not to dwell on the feud, and a disappointing season that has yielded just 11 goals and 34 points in 49 games. So JT Miller goes out there and says the first thing on this Pettersson rift and the situation, he hadn't said anything about this beforehand, and he's like, yeah, you guys in the media, you like making a big stir out of it, right? Well, it's not really that big of a deal. It's just exciting for you guys than it is for us. And it's funny that he did have this sort of humorous response to the entire thing, because with all the rumors going around, like, this is kind of one of the things that I feel good about for JT, and I feel really, really bad about for Pettersson. You might have seen the black hole video that we made about Elias Pettersson a few days ago, addressing some of the rumors about this guy, and some of y'all in the comments were understanding of what it was we referred to in that video commentary, but some of the Pettersson rumors with Miller have gotten wild. Like, inappropriately over the top, Corey Perry, Connor Bedard level wild. And a lot of this stuff has made its way around social media in a way that I think is really unproductive because, you know, I'm the rumor guy, quote unquote, on YouTube who does these videos about things that people say, but we try to give a fair shot to sources. We try to say, okay, Elliot Friedman said this, or LeBron said this, or if somebody without a track record says something, we'll pose it as an idea or a thought process or just some sort of response to a situation that some fan or some extra person has. Some of the rumors that are going around about this situation have gotten a lot bigger than that, and just sort of the belief behind it all. I've seen people in my DMs and everything asking like, oh, Lego, can you talk about this? Like, no, I'm not going to talk about that. Some of the rumors are really, really bad. So for Miller, I mean, he can laugh about it. He's not here anymore. He's probably not seeing all the rumors. Whatever it is people are saying that he said or whatever. Pettersson is seeing, hopefully, none of it. Hopefully. I mean, there were reports earlier on in the year that some of his friends were sending him the criticism that he was getting online. No, definitely do not do that. But ultimately, I did want to make this video because it's another chapter in the Pettersson-Miller saga that you could say, deservedly so, needs to be shut down because the guy was already traded. But there's no way in hell this story is going to go away. There are going to be people talking about February 17th. There are going to be people asking about Miller and Pettersson together. Miller's going to respond to it like he did today, or yesterday, excuse me, and we will have ourselves an entertaining hockey game to watch because of it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section below about JT Miller responding to Elias Pettersson's feud, or not even really responding to it. He responded to a question about it. He spoke out about Pettersson for the first time since the trade. Let me know your thoughts. How do you feel about this all? I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.